Donna Adelson, the Florida grandmother accused of hatching a plot to murder her ex-son-in-law, is going to trial after a false start last year. I take a look at everything that's been happening in Donna Adelson's case and why she doesn't want jailhouse snitches testifying against her. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Donna Adelson's trial is happening. Jury selection is underway in Tallahassee, and the wealthy grandmother from Miami is in for the fight of her life. She's accused of orchestrating the murder of her ex-son-in-law, Dan Markel, with her son, Charlie Adelson. Now, Charlie, as you know, has already been convicted for his role in the conspiracy, and he's serving a life sentence. Charlie arrived in Tallahassee over the weekend because prosecutors plan to call him to testify. Now, for her part, Donna says she's not guilty, despite her hatred for Dan Markel, and we know just how much she hated Dan. Donna said she didn't take part in the plot to murder the ex-husband of her daughter, Wendi. Prosecutors call Wendi Adelson an unindicted co-conspirator, and she maintains she did not take part in a conspiracy to murder Dan, and she says her family didn't either. Wendi is again being granted immunity to testify against her mother by the state, but her lawyers have asked to quash the subpoena issued to her by her mom's lawyers because she doesn't get any form of immunity testifying for the defense. Judge Everett held a hearing on this Monday afternoon. Take a look.
The defense cannot give the witness immunity as it relates to any matters in which she would testify under and could properly invoke the Fifth Amendment privilege. No witness can be called to the stand simply to invoke the Fifth Amendment, as there would be no basis for this witness to take the stand and give testimony on a relevant matter, and also could not affect her ability to also endanger her own Fifth Amendment right. I am going to grant the relief that is requested. If we need to revisit this issue for any purpose where the defense believes there is a line of questioning that will not go to the Fifth Amendment privilege of the witness, we will at the appropriate time, but I do believe it is the proper ruling at this point to quash the subpoena.
So there you go. Wendi basically can't be called as a witness by Donna's defense team. And there's another issue that was heard behind closed doors on Monday afternoon. Donna Adelson's defense says inmates at the jail were acting as agents of law enforcement when they asked her questions back in 2024. So that testimony, they say, shouldn't be allowed from those inmates. Now, inmates can listen to what someone has to say, but the cops can't ask an inmate to go into the jail and ask Donna questions because that would violate her rights. Those inmates, according to a defense motion, were told by detectives to not initiate conversations with Donna Adelson and to only listen if she said something first. The trial of Donna Adelson for the conspiracy to murder Dan Markel has been more than 10 years in the making. So let's take a closer look at just how we got here. Florida State University professor Dan Markel was murdered on July 19th, 2014, after he pulled into his garage. His family and friends called him Danny.
First of all, he's Canadian, and nobody really knows that he's Canadian, but he always wanted to go to Harvard, Yale, or Princeton, and he went to Harvard undergrad. And later on, he went and he took a year off and he went to Cambridge, England. And 1 year he studied also in Israel. And then he came back, he did Harvard Law School, and then he clerked. And then he worked in Washington. So that was his first job. But of all his accomplishments, the thing I'm the most proudest of, he was a great father. And he always attended his children's day center and would go there early in the morning and have breakfast with them on many occasions. He had very strong interest in Jewish life and the Jewish community. He was very, very family-oriented and always planned a long visit back to Canada, or Israel for that matter, every year, several times.
When Dan was shot and killed, he had just returned home from the gym after dropping off his two beloved sons at preschool. When he pulled into his driveway, he was executed. This was incredibly unusual and frankly shocking. Who would want to gun down a law professor in his driveway? Police started investigating, and they immediately spoke to Dan Markel's ex-wife, Wendi Adelson.
Your ex-husband, Daniel, all right, has been taken to the hospital. he's not going to survive.
There's a reason Crime Fix is one of the top-ranked shows on YouTube right now, just like there's a reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. They're a firm with more than 1,000 attorneys, and that's because they win a lot. Morgan & Morgan has recovered more than $25 billion from more than 500,000 clients. In the last few months, a client in Florida received $12 million after the insurance company offered just $350,000. In Pennsylvania, a client was awarded $26 million. That was 40 times the insurer's $650,000 offer. Another client in Pennsylvania received $29 million after being offered only $500,000. Even if you think your case is not worth millions, why not start a claim and fight for what you deserve? Morgan & Morgan makes it truly so easy. You can start a claim from your phone in just 8 clicks. So if you're ever hurt, you can easily start a claim at forthepeople.com/crimefix by clicking the link below or scanning that QR code that you see on your screen. Police discovered that Dan Markel was in the middle of a bitter custody battle with Wendi Adelson, his ex-wife, who wanted to move with their sons to Miami. Prosecutors would later say Wendy's family, particularly her mother, Donna Adelson, hated Dan Markel.
Do you think someone would do this for your benefit without asking you?
No.
What good does it serve?
I made my brother, the one, his name is Charlie, the one I'm really close to, he makes a lot of jokes in bad taste, and it was a joke he made. He bought the TV for me this morning that got broken, and I was talking to him about whether it made sense to pay to fix it or whether I should get a new one, and it was always his joke that, like, he knew Danny treated me badly, and it was always his joke. He said, I looked into hiring a hitman, and it was cheaper to get you this TV, so instead I got you this TV. Okay. I mean, he would never.
Now, some time passed, and fast forward to 2016. In May of that year, 2 Miami gang members who were lifelong friends, Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera, were charged with murdering Dan Markel. But why? What did these two have against Dan Markel? 5 months later, Katie Magbanois, the mother of Sigfredo Garcia's children, was arrested and charged for her part in the conspiracy to murder Dan Markel. Prosecutors said Katie was the connection between the 2 hitmen, Garcia and Rivera, and the Adelson family. Katie had dated Wendi Adelson's brother, Charlie Adelson, a successful periodontist. Luis Rivera pleaded guilty and testified against Garcia and Magbanois at their trial in 2019.
Was money discussed as far as how you'd be compensated for this job?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
He was gonna give me some money. He said, take a ride with me up to Tallahassee and I'll give you some money.
Did he say how much?
At that moment, yeah, he did. 35.
All right, 35 what?
35,000.
You were going to get $35,000 for this job?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And did you have another conversation in the car on the way to Tallahassee?
Yes, ma'am.
How many trips did you make to Tallahassee?
Like twice.
All right, and were both trips with Mr. Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
Was anybody else in the car on either of those trips?
Not at all.
All right, tell us about the conversation on the way to Tallahassee. Was this the first trip or the second trip?
This, the first trip.
All right, tell us about that.
We were just taking a ride up there. My concern, I thought we were finna go rob him. So,
Say that again?
and my concern, I thought we were finna go rob him.
You thought you were coming to Tallahassee to do a robbery?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you assume that, or did somebody tell you that?
No, I assumed that. I'm like, it was just a job.
All right. So you knew it was a job in Tallahassee, and you assumed it was a robbery. Did you learn something additional about what it was on the way to Tallahassee?
Yeah, and the way coming up, I was like halfway there, he said we're gonna have to kill the man. For some
Said
kids.
you were going to have to kill the man?
Yeah,
And what was the second part of what you said?
for some kids.
For some kids. All right. Anything else? What did that mean to you? Kill the man for some kids.
That's for a lady. I guess the lady wanted her kids back.
All right. So is this Garcia telling you this?
Yeah.
Sigfredo Garcia was found guilty. The jury came back hung on Katie Magbanwa's charges, but she was later convicted at a second trial in 2022. Then came the arrest of Charlie Adelson for his role in the conspiracy later that year. Charlie Adelson pleaded not guilty and went to trial in October of 2023.
A review of Wendi Adelson's emails revealed that her mother, Donna Adelson, hated Dan Markel and was desperate to find a way for Wendi and her children, who were Donna Adelson's grandchildren, to be able to move to Miami. Donna Adelson suggests in these emails that y'all will hear about several ways that Wendi Adelson could threaten or bully Dan Markel into submission, into getting what she wanted him to do. Donna Adelson even suggested offering Dan Markel a $1 million bribe to allow the relocation, and even said that this defendant, Charlie Adelson, would pay a third of that $1 million bribe to Dan Markel to make that happen. The evidence in this case will show that Donna Adelson's closest confidant was her son, the defendant. She and the defendant talked multiple times a day, every day. He was the person with whom she would constantly vent and complain to about Wendi's situation. The defendant was also the person that Donna Adelson relied on to solve her problems. And this was a big, big problem for Donna Adelson. And she made it the defendant's problem to solve.
The defense said Charlie was innocent.
The murder of Professor Markel was a tragedy. The world lost a brilliant legal mind. His family lost a son and a brother. This community lost its sense of security and lost a good citizen. And his two boys, the nephews of Charlie Adelson, lost a loving father. You will see that Charlie Adelson had nothing to do with the murder of Professor Markel. You will see that the state cannot come close to meeting its burden. Why? Because Charlie Adelson is innocent.
Throughout Charlie Adelson's trial, evidence came out showing just how much Donna Adelson hated Dan Markel. Emails from Donna Adelson to Wendi Adelson showed Donna called Dan gibbers and gave Wendi a plan of action to get under his skin. It included Wendi telling Dan she was going to have their sons baptized in the Catholic Church. Dan Markel was a devout Jew. Wendi Adelson wanted to move the son she shared with Dan Markel to Miami, and Donna Adelson wanted that too. But Dan Markel, he was not having any of it. Wendi testified under immunity agreements at all of these trials, including Charlie's.
What about the idea that you could try to threaten Dan to convert the kids to Christianity so that they can fit into the Bible Belt here in Tallahassee? Is that something your mom suggested in these emails?
My mom did suggest that.
Okay, and specifically, this is on page 7 of the exhibit. Let gibbers know that your children will be baptized in the Catholic Church. Have a picture made of them in front of the church, all that kind of thing. That's what your mom suggested at one time?
She did, yes.
Okay, and did you do any of those things?
No, I don't even think I responded to it.
Do you know whether the defendant, your brother Charlie, was supportive of the plan to convert them or pose as converting them to Christianity?
I have no idea. I don't think he was particularly involved in this round of my mom's emails.
On page 11 of the exhibit, there's an indication from your mom that Charlie at least has discussed this with her and maybe is somewhat supportive. Charlie brought up a good point when he said that Americans were dropped behind enemy lines during World War II wearing Nazi uniforms to get what they wanted. They had a job to get done, and they did what they needed to do to accomplish it. You have a job to get done in a very short time frame to accomplish it. If you dressed your kids up in Hitler Youth uniforms and brought them down here, I could care less if it was an act of defiance that would show Jibbers that he's, all caps and bold, not in control. So it just seems like your mom was pretty extreme about this situation of getting you relocated. Can you agree with that?
Yeah.
All right, and Charlie was at least consulted on it or had offered some information about it.
Well, that was my mom's rendition, so I don't know if that's what actually happened or that was her perception.
And guess what? Someone else had a change of heart and testified at Charlie's trial. Katie Magbanwa decided that she would finally admit to her role in the conspiracy to murder Dan Markel.
Did you have a trial in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you testify?
Yes, ma'am.
You testified on your own behalf.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And when you testified, were you truthful with the jury?
No, ma'am. I was not.
Did you take the same oath that you just took today in your own trial?
Yes, ma'am.
What was your defense when you were tried?
That I had nothing to do with it.
All right. That we got it right in reference to Charlie Adelson and we got it right in reference to the killers,
Yes,
but you
ma'am.
weren't in the middle.
Yes, ma'am.
Was that true?
No, ma'am, it was not.
Were you in the middle?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
And didn't you also testify in the trial in which Sigfredo Garcia was convicted of murder?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
And what was his defense?
That he had nothing to do with it.
That we got it right in reference to Charlie Adelson and we got it right in reference to the killers, but he had nothing to do with it,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Objection, Your Honor. Levy.
Overruled, Ms. Kellerman, make sure you use any questions.
And was that defense truthful?
No, ma'am, it was not.
So Sigfredo Garcia was involved.
Yes, ma'am, he was.
So why tell the truth now?
I believe that the truth needed to come out now so that the family can get some type of closure.
Why didn't the truth need to come out last year or the year before or the year before that?
I was trying to defend myself.
You were trying to get off.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you think you'd be successful in your trial with that defense?
I thought so.
And in Charlie's trial, there were wiretapped conversations between Donna and Charlie, prompted by an encounter called The Bump, where undercover agents approached Donna on the street.
Excuse me, Mrs. Adelson? How you doing? Just want to give you this. Listen. No, don't be scared. Listen, I just want to let you know that we know that your family has been taking care of Katie and her friend Pluto for quite some time after your problem up north has been resolved. And I want to let you know that my brother, he's incarcerated. He helped your family with this problem you guys had up north. And we want to make sure that he's going through some rough times. We want to make sure that you take care of what he's going through, the way you're taking care of Katie and Tuco. Well, this will explain it. Thank you.
After the bump, police listened as Donna and Charlie spoke in code on wiretapped phone calls. Charlie took the stand at his trial, and he claimed that they were actually discussing a double extortion plot and that Katie Magbanwa was extorting him because she was being extorted by Rivera and Garcia.
I want to go through some of that. You claim that you were extorted on July 18th, 2014 by Catherine Magbanwa and also in the background, some Latin kings, probably Garcia and Rivera, right? Is that accurate?
No, I wasn't extorted by Catherine Magbanwa.
You weren't?
That's not what I believed in 2014.
Okay, I'm sorry. I understood you to say you believe that today.
Today I do, yes.
All right, so who extorted you?
I believe that it was Catherine Magbanwa's friend that she ran her mouth to.
There was also a recording at the Dolce Vita restaurant where Katie Magbanwa and Charlie Adelson discussed the man in the bump who claimed to be a friend of Rivera's approaching Donna Adelson. In the end, the jury did not believe Charlie Adelson.
In the Circuit Court of the 2nd Judicial Circuit in and for Leon County, Florida, the State of Florida versus Charles Adelson, case number 2016 CF 3036B, verdict. Count 1. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder.
Jail phone calls following the verdict in Charlie Adelson's trial captured Donna and Harvey Adelson's shock.
Take a deep breath, Charlie, please.
Honestly, I'm like, I don't know if I'm in a state of shock.
Yeah, you're in shock. We're all in shock.
Yeah.
Donna Adelson is concerned that prosecutors are coming for her next. Police moved in quickly after Donna was caught on a hot mic jail call.
We've been looking it up over and over because things change if there is extradition from Vietnam. Because we've looked at all the places. I mean, I could go to Korea and China, but there's no extradition. But we're looking for places where there's no extradition.
In 15 minutes.
Oh, really? Good. Maybe she knows about. Maybe she can look up the extradition issue before we waste our time.
Donna Adelson was taken into custody as she and Harvey tried to board a plane for Vietnam days after Charlie's trial with one-way tickets. Donna Adelson pleaded not guilty to the charges, alleging she was the mastermind in her son-in-law's murder. She's been in jail in Tallahassee for many, many months, since November 2023.
Now, before she was arrested in Miami, she also had a phone call with her son, who's obviously in jail here. 25-minute phone call. I personally listened to it. She very clearly spoke about a plan to kill herself using sleeping pills.
One moment. Ms. Adelson, please keep your comments to yourself. Let your lawyer argue on your behalf.
Now, Donna Adelson's trial, it was actually supposed to start in September of 2024, but then there was a twist. It was determined her lawyer, Dan Rashbaum, who represented Charlie at his trial, could not represent Donna too because Charlie hadn't waived a conflict. Donna could not have been more disappointed. Since that time, she has retained new lawyers, but then there was another twist. A new secret investigation started last year involving new wiretaps. Donna's attorneys demanded information about it earlier this year.
So looking at the reply and the motion to compel, all of the things that they are requesting here as far as the minimization instructions, all the logs, all of those things, I feel once the order to unseal has been signed, those can't all be disclosed. The only thing that I saw that would be additional that they are asking for is surveillance video, which is surveillance video from the jail, which I've been told has already been disclosed to the defense. They also asked for the financial records that are mentioned in the application. I was told that we subpoenaed Harvey Adelson's Zelle account. I found that those Zelle records and had it sent to the defense this afternoon. So once those items are unsealed and they can be disclosed to the defense, that should be all of the discovery that pertains to the wire.
Please provide the order. Has the defense been able to take a look at it?
No, sir. Let me show them what I have, and if I need to change anything, I'll be happy to.
Both the prosecution and the defense, they were very, very careful about what they said about this investigation, but it definitely involved wiretaps.
Your Honor, there was one issue that Ms. Dugan and I addressed concerning the motion and order, and it has to do with the discrepancy with Investigator Newland's memorandum, the 17-page memorandum. The memorandum that he authored indicated that the wire went down February 24th. Ms. Dugan is telling me that the wire actually went down on February 21st. So if we can just make sure that that's accurate.
Yes, this is one of the paragraphs in the defense's reply. That was just a mistake on the memo. The wire came down on the 21st. I believe the significance of the 24th was that was when the order was signed, and I think Mr. Newland's memo said the 24th, but it is the 21st, which is reflected in the order the court's looking at now.
We're still wondering what that's all about and who it involves. We do know that Wendi Adelson and her father, Harvey Adelson, are still considered unindicted co-conspirators in this case. So now that Donna's trial is going to get underway, the same cast of characters will be testifying. Luis Rivera, Catherine Magbanwa, Wendi Adelson, and now Charlie Adelson is also expected to take the stand. And some are wondering what a woman named Sarah Youssef will testify to. She's on the witness list for the state. She's an attorney and former friend of Wendi Adelson. That could be very, very interesting. There have been questions about whether Wendi Adelson will face charges in this case. Prosecutors won't say, but she's been given immunity in each trial in which she has testified. Wendi also maintains she and her family had nothing to do with Dan's murder. Dan Markel's family will be watching closely and waiting for the outcome.
We're moving at a pace that's fast, considering we're waiting for 9 years. And here's our real score here. I hate to put it that way, but I've done 3 trials, 4 convictions, and an arrest in this last little while. So it's been a very busy journey. The sad part of all this, of course, is there's 2 adolescent boys, Danny's boys, Benjamin and Lincoln, who are now 14 and 13, and probably really just learning about most of the horrific situation.
Law&Crime will have Donna Adelson's trial covered for you gavel to gavel, and so will I, so stay tuned. And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.